In a quiet corner of the world, far from the noise and chaos, there's a place where only simple but love-filled moments exist. That's where Dieu and Huyen begin their journey again. Their home may be modest, but within its walls rest all the dreams and hopes they once whispered about. Every brick they place, every wall they raise, isn't just construction. It's love, sacrifice, and faith woven together into something unshakable. But is life really as they imagined it would be? Will all of D's endless efforts be enough to give Huyen the true happiness she has always longed for? She dreams of one day standing beside him, wearing a beautiful dress, proud of the life they've built. Yet sometimes she wonders, will those dreams be enough to keep her heart warm during the long nights when worries of daily life press down on her shoulders? What do you think? Can D's sacrifices and determination create a life that feels complete? Share your thoughts with us, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know your feelings. Stay with us, because this is only the beginning of D, Huyen, and little Maya's story. The morning is quiet, almost too quiet, but I feel as though something is changing. The breeze carries a freshness that brushes against my skin, filled with the scent of the earth and a promise of something new. D continues working tirelessly on our house, his hands moving with patience, carefully smoothing every corner. It feels like he's not only repairing our home, but also slowly piecing together our lives. In the garden, Maya is laughing as she runs with our dog, Bibi. Her voice rings out like a melody, pure and innocent, filling the air with joy and dissolving the fatigue in our hearts. These small moments, this laughter, this peace, are the ones that truly matter. They are the moments that remind us why we keep going. Inside, the aroma of breakfast drifts through the house. White smoke curls from the stove, carrying with it a sense of peace. A sense that maybe we've finally found our place. I sweep the garden carefully, leaf by leaf, each motion quieting the noise in my mind. Watching tiny green shoots stretch toward the sunlight, I feel a happiness that doesn't need words. The house looks different now, transformed by D's skilled hands. Every strike of his hammer, every layer of cement, it's more than just labor. It's love, poured into something we can touch. When D looks at me, smiling with that warmth only he can give, I see determination in his eyes. I see love that has no end. And in that moment, I know, no matter the obstacles, we'll find happiness here. Maya will grow up in this love, sheltered and cared for by the two of us. Even the empty plot in front of our house, once barren, has been reshaped. Now, each step through the garden feels like walking into the future we've built together. The house has endured rain and harsh sun, yet today it stands stronger, more beautiful, more alive. With my hands, I smooth the soil of the yard, making space for what's ahead. A future where worry doesn't consume us, where peace fills every day. Our life isn't perfect, but it's ours, woven with love and hope. And for that, I feel blessed. The sky is clear and gentle today. A soft breeze brushes against us, like an invitation to step forward into something new. Day and I stand outside our little home. It isn't grand, but it's built with love, and that makes it enough. It's the heart of our shared dreams. D lifts bamboo tubes with practiced precision. His hands move swiftly, shaping, and cutting them as though he's done it 1,000 times before. I watch closely, unable to take my eyes off him. Each strike of the hammer is steady, deliberate, and full of strength. These strikes are more than just sounds. They're the rhythm of our dreams taking shape. "Do you think I'm any good at this?" he asks with a grin. His smile shines brighter than the sun above us, even though sweat trickles down his back. The heat doesn't seem to weigh him down. That smile, it makes everything feel lighter, as if all the hardships in the world shrink when he's near. He's the reason I believe in us. No matter how hard life gets, I know as long as we're together, we'll be okay. His presence, his strength, his unwavering faith, it grounds me. Each sound of the hammer is like a heartbeat, a reminder that we're not just building walls, but a life, a home, a future. I find myself smiling as I look at the nearly finished house. Every brick holds a memory. Every wall is soaked in the love we've shared. The garden, once messy and bare, now carries green shoots that stretch higher every day. Watching them grow fills me with joy that feels so simple, yet so profound. This isn't just a home. It's proof of what we've created with our own hands and hearts. Even though there's still more work to do, happiness already surrounds me. At one point, my hands ache from the day's work, and I turn to D with a playful smile. "Do I look older now?" I tease. He bursts into laughter, wiping the sweat from my forehead with a tender look in his eyes. "You're still beautiful, and you'll always be young," he whispers. His words wrap around me like a warm embrace, soft and invisible, but deeply felt. In that instant, I feel like the woman he first fell in love with. No amount of time or exhaustion can change that. Meanwhile, Maya runs with Bibi across the yard, her laughter echoing around us. She looks up, and in her sweet, innocent voice says, "Daddy loves Mommy so much." Her words stop us both. We look at each other and laugh. And in that moment, all the worries of the world disappear. That laughter, it's the melody of our happiness, the sound of everything we've ever hoped for. The renovation is nearly finished. The land almost cleared. I glance at the clock. It's close to noon. I'll head to the market now. I tell Dieu with a smile, though a part of me feels guilty for leaving him to work alone. He looks at me with that steady, reassuring gaze. "Go carefully. I'll finish things here," he says. And just like that, my heart feels calm again. He is my anchor, the quiet certainty in my life. As I walk away, my thoughts linger on the house. To outsiders, it may just be walls and a roof. But for us, it's so much more. It's where memories are kept, where sacrifices are laid, where love is alive in every corner. This is our home, the place where we'll write every next chapter of our lives, together. The sun blazes overhead, pouring its heat onto the dusty road as I make my way toward the market. Each step feels heavy, almost melting under the summer heat. My old t-shirt clings to my skin, and the brim of my worn-out hat shields me only slightly. Still, I walk quickly, because in my mind, there is one purpose: to bring back food for my little family. The streets are bustling with people, each moving with their own goals. Some bargaining at stalls, others hurrying home. Amid the noise and chatter, my heart holds only one thought: a warm meal waiting at our table, a simple offering of love for Dee and Maya. The meat stall is crowded today. Shoppers jostle around me, but I know exactly what I need. I reach for fresh cuts of meat, crisp vegetables, and a handful of sweet fruits. To others, these are just ingredients. To me, they're the pieces of a memory I want to create, moments around the table, filled with laughter and love. The sun scorches stronger with every passing minute, beads of sweat rolling down my back. My body feels weary, but my resolve keeps me moving. My arms ache with the weight of the groceries, yet my heart feels light, because I know these small efforts mean something bigger. By the time I return, I see D waiting at the gate, his face glowing with pride. He runs toward me, his voice filled with joy. "Look, I've already finished it," he exclaims, pointing to the nearly completed work on the house. I can't help but smile. That moment, so simple, makes me feel like the world is right again. Life may not be rich or easy, but it's filled with these flashes of pure happiness, and that's more than enough. "I've bought what we need," I reply softly, my eyes shining with the same joy I see in his. Together, we walk inside. The fire in the stove crackles to life as I begin preparing lunch. The smell of onions and herbs fills the air, while steam rises from the pots. Day lingers nearby, sitting close enough to watch me work. His gaze is steady, soft, as though he's not just looking at me, but at everything we've created together. While the soup simmers, I step into the garden to pluck a few fresh herbs. The green leaves cool against my fingertips, their fragrance sharp and alive. Day is still there, watching with that quiet smile of his, the kind that says more than words ever could. Inside this little home, laughter mixes with the smell of food. Maya's voice calls out from the yard as she chases Bibi, her giggles bubbling into the afternoon. In these moments, our home doesn't feel modest. It feels complete, overflowing with love. This house is no longer just a structure. It's alive with our stories, our hardships, and our hopes. It holds our laughter in its corners, our love in its walls. Every day here may bring new challenges, but these simple scenes, cooking together, hearing Maya laugh, watching to smile, make everything worth it. The afternoon sun dips slightly, softening its glare. As we sit down to eat, I look at my little family. Maya claps her hands in delight when she sees the dishes I've prepared, and Dee leans back with a sigh of satisfaction, his tiredness momentarily forgotten. Each bite of food, though simple, feels rich, because it isn't just about taste, it's about care. The vegetables carry the memory of the market, the herbs remind me of the garden, and the meat holds the effort of every step I took under the scorching sun. Together, they form not just a meal, but a gift of love. Maya's laughter bursts out again as she tells us little stories, her words tumbling out between bites. Dee listens, nodding, laughing with her, his eyes soft with pride. For a moment, I stop eating, just to watch them, and I think, this is it. This is happiness. Later that day, after the dishes are cleared, we step outside. The golden glow of the evening sun stretches across the yard, bathing everything in warmth. Dee kneels near the garden, adjusting the bamboo poles that help the plants stand tall. His hands are rough and worn, yet they move with such care, as if each plant were a treasure. I walk beside him, brushing dirt from my hands. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" I whisper. He looks up at me with that same familiar smile, and I feel the weight of the day melt away. The garden is no longer just soil and plants. It's a living picture of what we've built. Tiny shoots rising from the earth, stubborn, yet full of promise, just like us. Each green sprout reaches for the sun, and I realize we've been doing the same, reaching for light, no matter how many storms we've faced. As night falls, the air cools, carrying the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. Inside the house, Maya curls up with Bibi, her soft breathing mixing with the crackle of the evening fire. Dee sits beside me, his arm wrapped gently around my shoulders. In the quiet, I reflect on everything. Our life isn't grand. We don't have riches or luxury, but what we do have is ours. A home built brick by brick, laugh by laugh, dream by dream. I think back to when it all began, when our hands were raw from carrying bricks, when the nights were filled with exhaustion and doubt. And now, here we are, with a home that stands tall and a love that has only deepened. Dee looks at me, his eyes filled with warmth, and says softly, "No matter what comes, we'll face it together." His words sink into me like roots in the soil, steady, grounding, eternal. I lean into him, and in that moment, I know he's right. Our story isn't perfect, but it's real. It's woven with sacrifice, laughter, tears, and dreams. And as I watch Maya sleep peacefully, I realize we're building more than just a house or a garden. We're building a legacy of love.
Con gái nhỏ
Life will
Maya
always
leo
bring
lên con đường
challenges,
núi hẹp dưới ánh nắng
storms that
hè
threaten
gay
to
gắt.
tear us down.
Dù Maya ngày càng
But
mệt
with Dee
mỏi
by
và
my
sốt,
side,
Huyền vẫn tiếp tục
with Maya's
hái
laughter in the
dương
air,
sỉ trong rừng,
I
biết
believe
rằng
we'll
mỗi bó
weather
thức
them all,
ăn, thuốc men và học phí
because in the
tại khu
end,
du lịch suối cá nhộn nhịp
happiness
họ bán rau
doesn't come from
đối với
grand
những người
things.
từ chối liên
It
tục,
comes from mornings
trong
filled with birdsong,
trong khi ánh mắt
afternoons
Maya
with
đượm
shared
buồn
meals,
nhìn món đồ chơi
and
cô
nights
bé không
wrapped in
thể
the
có.
warmth of family.
Tối hôm đó, trong căn nhà
This
đơn
is
sơ
our life.
được thắp sáng bởi
This
chiếc
is
đèn,
our home, and this is
họ
only
chia sẻ
the
những bữa
beginning
ăn
of
giản
our
dị,
story.
trân trọng những chiến thắng
So,
nhỏ bé. Trong
what
khi
do you
đó,
think?
ở nơi xa,
Is
đệ không ngừng
love
tìm
and
kiếm họ,
sacrifice
ghé
enough
qua
to
các
create
chợ
a
và hỏi
life
thăm người
worth
nạn.
living?
Một cuộc
Let
gặp
us know in the
tình cờ
comments.
mang đến tin tức Huyền
Don't
và
forget
Maya
to
có thể
like,
đang chờ
share, and
ở Cẩm
subscribe
Liên.
so you can
Với hy
continue
vọng
this
mới,
journey with
đệ lập
us.
tức lên đường, quyết tâm đoàn tụ.
Because the story
Những
of
hành
Diep,
trình
Huyen,
đan xen
and
của họ
Maya
nói lên
is
sự kiên
far
cường
from over,
và hy sinh,
and
sức
the
mạnh
next
bất diệt của
chapter
tình yêu.
is just waiting to be told.